Hello, traders. Welcome back to another daily recap for Thursday, August 22, 2024. I'm Sam Morton. The time is currently almost 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Right now, before the market opens for the day, we're looking at levels in the SPY that we will use as trigger points to enter E-mini futures trades today. If and when price in the SPY hits a level that you see here and everything else that we're looking at in the market at that time is behaving normally, a trade will be entered in the E-mini futures. And then that active trade will be managed according to a set of rules. The goal is to pull base hits or more at each level, and a base hit is defined as 4 S&P points. There is a zone up here with a $1 spread between these two dashed lines. That's about 10 S&P or ES points. If price gets to this area, each of these levels could provide a reaction individually, but it's equally likely that anywhere between these two dashed lines that define this zone can cause a reaction in price and send it back the other direction. So depending on market behavior at the time, it could be a good area to scale in for a multi-contract E-mini trade. Usually under normal market conditions, price will find interim support or resistance at these levels and zones, depending on how price comes into the levels. After the market closes today, we'll come back to this chart to examine the price action during the open session and talk about any E-mini futures trades that may have been triggered. Catch you on the other side. And we're back. It's 9 p.m. So a little bit of a gap in crap, you could call it. They gapped a little higher at the open, fell down the rest of the day, but there were trades. How would you have played them if you were sticking to a process? The process would look like this. Let me adjust the levels first. I'm going to adjust levels toward price as price is coming down into them, like you would have traded them on this first go here. I've also removed the other levels and the part of this zone up here, the top zone, where the spiders never got to. So at, what time was this? 9:52. They came down pretty close. It was not quite 10 cents. The low was 561.63. So with the level adjusted, it was 561.52. So, what is that? 11 pennies, 11 cents. But they just took off out of this. So I didn't trust this level. I called this one good right off the bat, did not trade it because I didn't really think they're going to respect it next time around. And sure enough, that was the right decision to make. So when I start the recording of the trades I took is right here because I went long here because this is playing by the rules. You would have gone long at 559.82 and quickly you got out of the money. So there's a fumble threshold down here somewhere and they gave a signal that you're looking for to know when to reverse, and that would have happened at a 13-point fumble, 13-point loss. You would have reversed and given a 13 points back to the market essentially, and then you would have had a base hit or more on the reversal. And I did exactly that. And well, not exactly. I reversed, but then I kind of trailed part of my two position down a little bit. You'll see that. But then here's the recycle. So let me actually point out this. So this was a fumble, or what would have been a fumble. So this is the trade right here, right? So they get below this, I can take this again for a long trade, but they get below this. You could take it for a recycle if you want to, but I want to see more time from when they got out of this level, got below it, and when they come back up into it here. And there was not enough time, just barely. So even so, well, this would have worked because you would have had this level adjusted down toward price. As you can see, it would have worked. You would have had come down to 561.42. That's 5 cents below the level for the morning. But like I said, while that would have worked for a short trade on a recycle of the same level, I normally like to see more time. And anyway, I didn't take this trade, and that's not played by the rules anyway. So this is nothing until you get to here. So as we said, this was traded for a long trade, did not work. You would have got out, given some points back to the market, and then on the other side of this, you would have had the level adjusted to 559.72. I can get it accurate. There we go. As they're coming back up into it, just to make sure you're going to grab this. And you would have had another base hit. Now, I was gone. Well, no, wait, I was in this trade. We'll talk about it. I just jumped out at a quick base hit because I had to leave, and none of this rest of this price action I was around to see until I got back right around 3:30 or so and closed up the recording and stopped it. So I didn't take this last trade, but playing by the rules, no trade up here, a fumble here, a reversal to pull some back, to wash that out, a base hit or more on the recycle of this trade, and then when they finally got down into 556.55, that was a nice base hit there. I did not take this trade myself. But those are your 3 base hits and 1 fumble. And now let's look at my trades. To set the stage here, this is 11:18 a.m. Just cut this recording to this point because nothing really happened before this. Did not take this trade, didn't do anything else until they were getting down into 559.82. And you'll see me go long with 2 contracts and immediately get out of the money. So let me scrub ahead to the point where this becomes a fumble. 13 points to the bad. So there we go. So I'll just back up just so you can see this closer. So it gave some points back, reversed, and instead of just getting 4 points on the base, or sorry, on the recycle, using the wrong terminology, it's my own terminology here. Using a base hit on the reversal of this, I went for a little more. So here's one contract at 6 points. And when that worked, I wanted to trail the other one down, and I was kind of not paying close attention. I actually had a trailing stop limit at 2 contracts. It should have been 1. I adjusted that later. And at some point, I want you to watch this. So they didn't actually get up this point. I looked over and it just disappeared. I may have actually clicked, sell or close the order out. I'm not sure what I was doing, but anyway, I got a little bit better price. But they kept down, so they kept coming down, and then this next trade was down here, or it would have been down here, but they didn't get that low at this time. And it went back up to this recycle trade. There it is, and I pulled the level down and took. So I had a 6-point target to initially to take one contract off, and I was going to trail the other one down if I could, but I had to head out, and I was gone for several hours. So it was getting close to 1 o'clock. So when they got to my typical base hit profit target of 4 points, I jumped out pretty quickly. So I pretty much got, it was actually a little bit less. I think when I jumped out with slippage and everything, it was like 3.5 points. But that was it. So I ended in the red for the day. Myself, not as bad if you were playing by the rules, because you would have had an extra base hit down here to help wash that out. And we'll take a look at what that looks like on the tracking log now. And it looks like this. This is the playing by the rules log, following the process. You can read the notes here. First level not triggered because of that near miss. 13-point fumble. Trading at the level, then a base on the reversal and a base on the recycle, all at the same level. And then this next level down here at level 2 was just a simple base hit. So there you go. Gave back 13 points. Pulled 12. So it would have ended in the red a little bit. Trades were a little worse because I didn't get that last base hit. So I gave the 13 points back. Then with my 2 contracts, it was negative 450 before commissions. And let's go ahead and look at the March through current time to compare the playing by the rules versus my trades, just to see the difference. And the reason I do this and show it to you occasionally is because starting in March of this year, I started keeping tracks of my personal trades using the same format. So you can see the playing by the rules from this period of time, March through August. Right now, this is the same day. Here's what the daily averages and everything looks like. Here's my personal trades, same levels, just taking slightly different trades, trying to get more points sometimes, and honestly not trading every single level for one reason or another, and you can see the differences. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Not the most straightforward day, probably helps to understand some of the nuances, but especially like when would you jump out of that trade that didn't work. But also at this point, I think those of you watching probably have a pretty good idea on how I like to recycle trades when they come up on the other side. These levels are important one way or the other. And if they don't respect the level the first time, your odds are increased. You're going to get something on the other side of that level for a recycled trade. And you saw that happen today. So be back tomorrow, last day of the week. Pretty good down day. And we'll see where they go from here. We'll have new levels tomorrow morning. Do this all over again. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your evening.